here. Actually, not bad. 1 minute late. I'd say that's a win for me.
Hey.
That's a win. I did it, guys.
We made it.
We made it. Anyway, welcome, guys, to another episode of the JKT podcast. You know who it is, of course. J Knows Tech here. Joined back again with King Ken.
That's me.
That is him.
That's who I am.
Absolutely. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's a little bit unknown. But he's also hosting with me as well on another podcast, which is the Pop Culture Peasants as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys love comic books and nerdy stuff, and nerd talk that doesn't have to include tech, make sure you go check that out as well. Here at this podcast, we talk about basically about tech news. So anything that's tech related, whether it's games, phones, tablets, monkeys. If it's tech, we're going to talk about it here on the podcast. Now, just to let you guys know, we are live streaming this now on both YouTube and Twitch. So if you guys are in either one of those, welcome. We hope you guys enjoy this podcast. This is, I think, episode 3. I don't remember. I haven't done many of these. I think it's 3 though. Episode 3. I think it is, if I remember correctly. So we have quite a bit to talk about. There's a lot of news that's going on. Threadripper has been announced. So excited to get in that Threadripper 2. So I'm excited to get into that, talk about that. Fortnite might be an exclusive on the Galaxy Note 9, and that might make a lot of people very angry, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. The Pixel 3 might be the ugliest phone that Google's ever created. Maybe, says one article. That's going to be interesting. And I just found this out today. Huawei is actually killing the game right now, and they're not even in the US. That's crazy. But before we do, there is one thing that I would like to do, and if I can get my stuff together, so I would like to go ahead and give a shout out to TorioBeats. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, he actually makes a lot of the music that I have on my channel. So most of the stuff that you'll hear play on any of the videos that you see on YouTube and also on the live streams are all done by him. So if you guys are interested in checking out some of his music, he actually opened up his SoundCloud link. He doesn't have that many songs on there because he deleted it and then opened it back up. But if you guys are interested, here is the place where you can go ahead and check him out. He makes some awesome music, so thank you to him for working with me.
Yeah, give him a look at it. He got some nice stuff. What you heard before we started.
I know, right? You heard
straight from him.
That was straight from him. So those 2 songs that we had, those are TorioBeats production. So definitely give a big shout out to him. Thank you so much for the music, and definitely appreciate that. So, like I said, go ahead and check him out. That's his SoundCloud link. He will be having a website up soon, so if you guys actually want to purchase some of his music, he'll have that open soon. Once he loads that up, I'll definitely make sure I have that in the link or a link down here for you guys as well. But without further ado, I think it is time to go ahead and get into some tech news. So we're going to go ahead and...
That's what they came for.
We
got to give the people what they need to know.
They want the tech.
What they want to know.
They want the beautiful tech. Also, guys, this is actually...
Oh, no. What happened? What have you done?
So, if you look down, you can see that the bottom panhandles are not in the right area. So,
it's all right, guys.
It's okay.
Just follow me at all 3 of these.
You can check them out in all 3 of those, and then here's just my Twitter here. But
yeah, doesn't have much there, trust me.
It's okay. He's just starting. Anyway, let's go and get right into the tech news, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the Threadripper news. Let me make sure I've got everything looking spiffy here. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about Threadripper. Now, Threadripper 2 has been announced. There are 4 new models of Threadripper here, and it's gonna. I think this is actually on the 7nm chip. Am I correct? I think so.
Yes.
Okay, I had to make sure because they didn't really make that a known thing, but I assume it is just because I was excited for that. So there's gonna be 2 series. There's gonna be the X series and then the WX series. So down here, these are gonna be kind of the different options you can get. These are gonna be the price points for it. So you got your 2920X and your 2950X from $649 to $899. They're kind of pitching those more so for gamers / enthusiasts. And then you have your higher end WX series, which is going to be the 2970WX, and then the 2990WX, which range from $1299 to $1799. Now, of course, you can't really, I don't know if you guys can really see that, but for the 2920X, is going to be a 16-core, 24-thread processor. Your 2950X is going to be a 16-core, wait, am I reading that correctly? Yep, 16 core, 12 thread processor. Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, okay, well, that's interesting. The 2970 MWX is going to be 24 cores and 48 threads if I'm seeing that correctly. And then the 2990WX is a 32 core, 64 thread behemoth.
So anyone wanting to play Fortnite, there's your CPU.
There you go.
Right there.
That's the CPU. Don't worry about the other two. Get the 1799 one, because you'll be able to play Fortnite at 500 frames per second. No problem.
You'll see that shot coming before they even fire it.
Exactly. It's going to be slow-mo, and then it's going to just move around. You're going to be like, oh, and you're going to be like, bam, take them down. So I'm actually very excited. I'm glad to see that AMD is doing really, really well. The Ryzen series chips are amazing, and Threadripper to me is awesome too. I do want to get a Threadripper at some point. I don't.
Just have it. Just mount it in your room. Don't even have to put it.
Don't even use it for anything. I just want it.
Yeah.
But I do want to get it for like an editing rig. I think overall, I'm actually very excited to see that they're doing really well. This is kind of a big step for them, and I know they're kind of having a little bit of an advantage over Intel right now, especially the fact that they are able to release the 7nm chip, whereas Intel's is going to be delayed for the time being. So that is a bit of a disadvantage for Intel, but who knows? Maybe something different will change. So, of course, the 2990WX is going to be compared to the higher-end Core i9-7860XE. Now, are you a big fan of either one Threadripper?
I've never used. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't used AMD in a long time. I've used Intel. I have an X series processor right now. I haven't really had any problems with it. It does really well for me.
Yeah, I
mean, they're both good companies. It's just obvious that you usually get more for your money with AMD.
Yeah, I mean, I know AMD has kind of been like out of the game for a little bit as far as like popularity, and then with the Ryzen chips, that kind of pretty much brought the spark back with everybody. So it's definitely been able to rise, especially for budget gaming, because they make really good chips for the price point that you're getting. So which, especially like Ryzen 3, is a really, really good chip, especially if you don't have like the money to afford like a graphics card. It's nice to be able to get that, Ryzen and get that APU. I'm a big fan of Ryzen, if you could not tell. I mean, I'm not really against Intel, but I always kind of root for the underdog, because to me it's like, everybody loves Intel, everybody knows Intel, and Intel's definitely a good processor. For what I do, I think Ryzen fits better, because I do a lot more than just games. If you're gaming, kind of either one is good. But it's good to see that they're able to announce and release Threadripper 2. I wish I could get my hands on it. So, AMD, if you want to, just slide one in my way, just let me know, because
he'll give you all the press coverage you need.
Just tell me what you need me to do, and I will do it with no problem. So, please, just send me one. I want one in the box, just the same box, so I can unbox and be like, oh my gosh, so I can finally do an unboxing. See, if you bring me a Threadripper, I'll finally have something to unbox. So then it'll actually be the first truly unboxing video that is my own product. There.
Oh, your own product.
My own product, not the first one I've done, but the first one of my own product. Well, actually, I would say the second one, because the first one I did was a motherboard. So there you go.
You'll be second.
Second one. There you go. So, but yeah, I'm actually excited to see. I really, of course, I want the higher end Threadripper chip.
Yeah, this 2990WX, obviously.
Yeah, just 1799. Well, why would you even get any of the other ones? Honestly, I will say though, for the X series chips, it's actually not bad as far as pricing, because if I remember correctly, I think the Threadripper processors, the first gen, they normally, when they came out, I think they were around. I think the lowest I saw was like 8, and then so it was like 8 and up.
They were up there at first.
Yeah, they were very, very expensive. So the fact that they're starting off at $649 is actually not bad at all, and especially for what you're getting.
Definitely not.
But I can definitely see that it is geared towards gamers for it. I mean, it says it, but it is definitely geared towards gamers and enthusiasts. So I'm glad to see it. And that's actually not a bad price. That's what I said. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now we can just get their GPUs in check, because their GPUs are not the best. Not the best.
Hey, they're working on it.
They're getting there.
You can wait for those Intel GPUs.
No, yeah. Hey, Intel is getting to the GPU market again. My goodness. I mean, I'm hoping they get new GPUs, because the 580 it's not a bad graphics card at all. Like, I'm not dogging their GPUs, but
How are you gonna expect them to send you Threadripper 2 if you talking so much crap about their
They
cards?
had it in the package and they were sending it to me, and then they heard this. They're like, nope, never mind. It's not that. The only issue I have is that when you have the 5, you have the 580. I'm gonna go with the higher end one. So you have the 580, and then you have the Vega. There's really nothing in between the 580 and the Vega. The 580 is comparable to a 1060 card, and your Vega is supposedly comparable to a 1080. But there's no card like in the middle, so it's like there's nothing that compares to the 1070. Now I know when Vega was first announced back a while back, it was going to be that was like the talk of everything, because it was supposed to be the card that took down Nvidia, like because it was supposed to be blazing fast, and it just wasn't that at all. So it's like I'm hearing that they are going to be making new GPUs that are supposedly faster and that are going to be equivalent to the 1080 to 1070. But I think in a way they should have done that first, because I think that would have definitely kind of drove the market a little bit more towards them as well. They would have got more people into it, because then you have this fantastic processor and you get this fantastic GPU. So it's like I got a Threadripper, but I'm still using 1080 Ti's, So I mean, which is none of them are not bad at all. I mean, I have a 1070, so. But I just want to see AMD just like when they're making everything that they make. I just want to see it do really well. And to me, Vega was a letdown, and then you couldn't get your hands on Vega, and then that was when crypto mining just took off and completely wiped every graphics card that was out there. So you really couldn't get much of them. And now we're starting to finally slow down on that. So. Hopefully whenever they do announce new graphics cards, because I know Nvidia is going to be announcing their graphics cards, I think at Gamescom pretty here soon. So
that's what everyone believes, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to see if that happens or not, and if that does happen, I do think that AMD needs to really get something going on with those graphics cards, because the processors are great. So maybe put that same technology in your graphics cards. Might work out for you. I don't know. Yeah, I use the stuff. I don't create it, but I just use it. But yeah, loving Threadripper 2. I want Threadripper. Now I think it can use the actual same socket that Threadripper used, which I give him really good credit for. I like the fact that if you have an older motherboard, like if you have a B350 or an X370, and then you have like an X4, and then you get a newer Ryzen 2 chip, all you gotta do is just update your BIOS and boom, you're done. So it's nice that you don't have to get all this money you spent on this motherboard. You can still use that motherboard and be okay. Right. You don't have to go out and buy another motherboard just to support this processor, because that is a lot of money, especially if you get a really good motherboard. That could cost you. I mean, if you paid $300 for a motherboard, you don't want to fork out another $300 for another motherboard just to support a new socket. So I'm glad to see that they're able to keep that in the same socket. So AMD right now looks like the path that they're on for the next couple of years. They're doing a good job. They've already got their 7nm processor out for Threadripper. It's only a matter of time before we get the 7nm ones for the actual Ryzen chips, and then so forth, so forth. So their path line is looking really good right now. So I wish AMD the best of luck. And again, I know I talked about your GPUs, but just slide one my way, please. Just see this. This is me asking nicely. So
don't make them ask. Not nicely.
Don't make me ask not nicely, because it's gonna be bad. You'll see tears going out my eyes. I got a bunch of acoustic foam over there. They'll just be full of tears. So you're just gonna see them. You're gonna see a waterfall. You'll be like, "That's nice." I'm like, "No, that's just me crying." So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. So if I can get this, I got it right. Look, so I'm over here playing with macro keys because I had some comments on another podcast, and now I'm improving it. So nobody's gonna be dogging me today.
These transitions are on point.
They're crisp. So now you're not looking at us through us. You're looking at us and the actual article. Booyah. So anyway, so next topic that we're going to discuss. This is actually coming from The Verge. This is going to be the new Galaxy Tab 4. Now, I was not expecting this at all. I came across a trailer for it showing some of the features with the Samsung Electronics CEO, who had the cringiest. It was the cringiest thing I ever seen. Like, I don't know. He didn't even show emotion. This man was just like, the Galaxy Tab S4 is the best Tab S4 in the world. It was uncomfortable. But anyway, so the Galaxy Tab 4, it was announced, and the only thing I really saw was the one from Samsung talking a little bit about what it was able to do. But here's what it looks like. So a little bit of a different design. Same screen size, I think, at 9.7 inches. It has the S Pen still, and what's different about this is that there's a few things that I noticed that stood out to me. Is that it has Samsung DeX built in. The keyboard looked nice. It was a whole redesign. Oh, it's 10.5 inches. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's a 10.5 inch. It, of course, still comes with the pen. It's using Android 8.1. And like I said, it does have the built-in Samsung DeX. So if you're not familiar with what that is, basically, it's kind of like if Android was not Chrome OS, but actually became a legitimate platform for the desktop world. Kind of what they're going at here. So the whole thing is that you can enable it at any time, whether you have the keyboard accessory or not. It has all the same features. So basically, think of it like a Note 8, excuse me, on steroids. So it's a nice upgrade from the Tab S3. And then The Verge kind of talks about the ratings they give. So they can only give it a 6.5. And they kind of talk about some of the good and bad with it. So they, good battery life, because it did increase the battery life. It does have the DeX. And then it's just some of the bad things, because it does have built-in iris scanning, which, I used from time to time with my Note 8. I didn't really, it wasn't, to me, I didn't really have an issue with it. It wasn't, like, that inconsistent to me. Yeah. I know for some people, they tried to use it multiple times and it didn't work out, but, I really don't have...
I've never really used it in any of my devices, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't really... It was slower than, like, a fingerprint or a pen, because I was used to doing that, but it wasn't, like, the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Now, I'm excited to see that, they did make a new tablet, because the Tab S3 to me it's a really good tablet next to the iPad, but I did want to see them do an upgrade, so I'm glad to see that they did an upgrade for that. It looks really nice. I'm pretty sure it probably functions really well. It has the best stuff. Now, the only thing that kind of worries me is that a tablet, especially nowadays, is it really worth spending the money on? Or could you just get a computer or a laptop that kind of does the same thing?
Yeah, there's still some people who are into the tablet market, though, because some people, even though yes, they do make laptops that will be able to fold and flip into like a tablet, generally a lot of times they're going to be paying more for a laptop that's going to run efficiently and with a Windows system on it, whereas one that has this Android system on it, it's going to run smoother still for them, and they may not need all that stuff.
It's kind of a mixed bag for me. I really want tablets to do very well because they are a great portable device. I know you have like the Surface and the Surface Go that try to do those things, where it's a tablet that you can do all your productivity work on. But of course, for me, the biggest downsides, especially with iPads and Samsung tablets, is that if you try to use it as purely a productivity device, it's not good for that, because it's using mobile versions of all the programs instead of like an actual version. Now, Samsung DeX tries to eliminate that by making Android somewhat of a desktop platform, so things run in Windows instead of just opening up and having it take up your entire screen. Right. I just don't know for most people how useful that's necessarily going to be. I'm pretty sure it'll have its use. I'm not saying it's completely dead, but I think for me, this is probably a smarter way to go with DeX instead of making it a separate device. Because if you think about it, if you were to get a Samsung, like a Note 8 or an S9 or an S9 Plus, and you wanted to get the DeX, you didn't have to pay another $150 to get this device, and then you had to set it up and plug it all in. The fact that they actually implemented it into the tablet, I think is a good start. So I think if they can make Android where it's easily able to be a desktop OS, and then when you're on the go, you can switch it over to like the mobile version. I think there's a good chance that tablets can start slowly kind of making a comeback. Because now, most of the time when you use a tablet, it's really nothing more for just watching shows and listening to music. It's just a multimedia device. It's not really more than that. And you know, coming from me who's tried to use a tablet as a productivity device away from like a laptop or a desktop, it works and then it doesn't work. Because there are some things that I feel like you can do on a tablet. Like to me, the iPads are one of the better tablets out there because the platform, as far as the applications that you have, there are more apps that are better optimized for an iPad. There are still a few that aren't optimized very well, but there are some that are actually optimized for Apple devices more so than Android devices. So a lot of the times when you're doing work, say you do like Microsoft Word or Excel on Apple, it has a different feel from when you do it on Android. And I think the focus, if you're going to really more so do tablets, is to really focus on making the Android platform a little bit more user-friendly for all devices. Because Apple's kind of going that way now where everything's going to coherently work together. So you're going to have one app that can work on all of these different platforms. So you don't need to download like Photoshop for MacBook and then iPad and then, you know, your iPhone. It all just works under one app. But there is a code inside that knows, okay, you're using a MacBook, so I switch it to here. So, I mean, we're going in the right direction with it, but I don't think it's there to really sometimes say that, you know, especially the price you're going to pay for something like this, because you're paying $400, $500, $600 for this tablet. You're now hitting up, you know, high-level laptops at that area.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you really? It's like some people will say, okay, you know, it's a lot easier to take with you. You know, I'm not really doing much on the go. Maybe do things here and there. So yeah, it may justify spending that. But you know, if you're, you know, somebody like me, I may spend the money on a computer because I can do more on my computer than I can really with the tablet. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I really do I really want to get my hands on it, to be honest. But I'm actually glad to see they came out with a new tablet because I didn't think they were going to come out with that. I thought the Tab S3 was going to be it.
Yeah.
So I think this is a nice upgrade from the Tab S3, and it has some nice features and functionality. I love the S Pen. The S Pen is a fantastic utensil. If there was more ways to implement it, oh man, it'd be great.
I feel like it could have, to make it a little bit better, they should have included the keyboard so they get more functionality with it, especially if this tablet's pushing like mid 600s or something. Yeah,
because I think it starts off at like 649 or 449, and then it goes, I think if you get the higher model, it's 649.
And the keyboard's about 150 extra.
Yeah, so that would have actually been a smart move, like have like a bundle package. I would have liked it, because I know they changed the keyboard, but I would have liked to see the keyboard even have a touchpad. Yeah. Because that, to me, that would make a lot of sense, because...
Or, I don't know if it does. I've never looked at the keyboard yet, but have a USB built into it.
It may have like USB-C, so you can do like USB-C, or you can do like a Bluetooth. I know you can do a Bluetooth mouse.
Definitely.
That's one of the things it's really weird, because I don't know if you've ever used an iPad before, but you can't use a mouse with an iPad.
Yeah, no, I've used the iPad Mini before.
Yeah, you can't. It's really weird that you cannot use a mouse with an iPad.
I never tried it. But
I tried doing it. I had a mouse that was Bluetooth, and I tried pairing it up, and it did not work. But it works on Android, and I was like, what? Apple, come on. Like, I'll even take your Magic Mouse. I don't like your Magic Mouse, but I'll take that if I can use it. Like, I don't think they have that functionality in the iPad. To me, that's where the iPad will never...
They want you to use the Apple Pencil. What do you mean? You gotta use that.
I gotta plug it into the charging port.
Yeah.
And it just stick out. So I'm like, oh, look at this. And just stab somebody. Oh my! Please stop. Please. My God. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But Apple gets away with that stuff. So
yeah, it's
Apple. That's every time somebody's like, why is Apple this? I'm like, it's Apple. Like, by now you know what you're getting into if you get an Apple. Like, if you're buying this iPad Pro, you know what you're getting yourself into. So you might as well just you might as well not question it. You might as well just accept the fact that this is it's an Apple product. But it's the weirdest thing that you can use keyboard and other stuff, but you cannot use a mouse. They don't want you to use the iPad as a computer. They want you to use it as a tablet. And that's the funny thing.
They have MacBooks for that.
Yeah, they do. It's like, why spend $900 on the iPad Pro when for a little bit more you can get a MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
See? Win-win situation. But yeah, so best of luck. It doesn't seem like it's getting the greatest reviews. Then again, I think tablets are kind of in a weird position where they're not really popular anymore. but there are people that still use them. But because I know the big wave was, especially when I was talking like my dad, his whole thing was, well, laptops and desktops are gonna die, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen, because as long as you have people like us that love building and play games and stuff, and there's not really options for that, so I'm not gonna say it's dead. I think there's always gonna be a place for it, no matter what.
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah, if anything, I think it's grown more than it's died, because it used to be consoles, and then tablets were also another thing, and then even like smartphones. People thought that because of the smartphones, the tablets, and the consoles coming out, PCs were gonna die. That was the end of PC. PC world was dead forever. And now you come into 2018, PC gaming has risen. A lot more people are buying computers and buying desktops and building. So if anything, I think it's the complete opposite. I think other devices are slowly starting to kind of die off, and then PCs are starting to become the big thing, because now it's like, well, anything you can do on your Xbox, your PS4, you can now do on a PC. So, and especially like exclusive games, they're not really that exclusive anymore. Like the ones that are like, it's very very small. It's a very very small window of what is exclusive. So it's like any game that was here is eventually gets released here.
In a lot of like Microsoft's first party games, they have it so you can actually play on PC and Xbox. So it's
so they're starting to, because their whole thing with Windows 10 is to make it kind of like what Apple's doing, is making one platform that works on all devices. So Windows 10 isn't just for PCs. Windows 10 is PC, Xbox, and Windows phones if you still use those. So I'm not gonna judge you if you do, but what are you doing on there? Everybody left that platform. It's gone. It's dead. That's dead. But PC, I don't think PCs are gonna die. I don't think so. I think it's gonna steadily grow, because you can do so much on a PC now that it's almost like you can have that one device for everything you do. So it's just better implementation and better optimization, to me, is where that's how you can probably just more so improve on it. But I think tablets are kind of in a weird position. I think they're still relevant, but at the same time, they didn't do what everybody thought they were going to do. They thought they were going to replace like Ultrabooks and laptops, because they were so light and so portable, and they could do all this stuff. But the biggest thing to me that holds them back is apps. I think when you have to use a mobile version of something for work that you need, maybe a full Windows experience for something, or a full Mac desktop experience, it makes it difficult to dedicate using a tablet as solely your main device on the go. It's almost like you have to have a laptop with you, because that's going to allow you to do that work. And there's not really a lot of good applications out there for if you do like photography, content creation. They try their best, and some do work well, but there's a lot of times that it doesn't work as good. So as time goes on, they may get better and better, but it's tough. Because there's a lot of things that to me they can necessarily work on. So we'll see what happens. But if you are interested in the Tab S4, it's been announced. So we have confirmation for that. Next, we just have to wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Samsung's Unpacked event. So they're going to be announcing, of course, the Note 9, and probably some new Samsung watches, which I heard they got rid of the microphone on it, which would be interesting, because they're going against the Apple Watch, which is pretty much the number one selling smart watch to me out of all of it. So I don't know.
See how that goes.
We'll have to see how that goes. So best of luck to that. But yeah, if you're interested in the Tab S4, I didn't get a release when it's actually gonna be released. I think August 24th. I think they're actually gonna be sold in stores. So if you're interested in that, just come August 24th, you'll be able to get your hands on one. So we're gonna go ahead and flip over to the next article. We're still on Android here, so this one is gonna be by Digital Trends. And pretty much this is going to be talking about the new Android Pie that was announced. This was an announcement out of the blue, because I didn't think they were. It was like nobody knew. It was like, oh snap! They just, hey, here's Android Pie. So Android P is now Pie. That's the official name for it. I gotta give them credit. Whoever comes up with whoever came up with the idea to name it after desserts, he's a smart guy.
Yeah,
he's a very smart guy.
It's making people hungry, not for just for food,
but
for
the platform as well. It's like, oh man, I gotta give me some of that pie. Which one? Mm-hmm. Oh, so Android Pie has been announced. They have an article here, just kind of going over what you want to know. Now, if you have a Google Pixel device, Pixel 1, Pixel 2,
I have a Pixel 2.
As you can see here, you are going to be getting Android Pie first. Mm-hmm. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because updates for phones is especially when you have a carrier. But anyway, so Android Pie is the name. So some of the new features that they have is going to be artificial intelligence, which has been kind of a big thing that's starting to slowly grow. A lot of devices are implementing AI into their software, which is pretty cool and pretty scary. But I'm looking forward to the future where an AI can just walk up to you and say, "I like you," and you're like, "Okay, moving on." That's how you do it. So you're going to get, artificial intelligence. You're gonna get a new, more powerful lock screen. So
great.
I know.
Hi
right?
there.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! This is how powerful it is. Now I will say I do like this design. It's a little bit more modern, clean. Mm-hmm. I like the rounded corners. I'm a big fan of rounded corners. Yeah. It's something about it. It aesthetically looks pleasing.
Yeah. This Huntsman Elite has rounded corners.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that either. It's in the title.
Don't worry. We're gonna talk about this in a few. Hey, look, I wanted to save it for last. It's special to me. There's a reason why. But I do like other than that, it doesn't really look much the same. It's just a little bit updated design there. You do have new ways to navigate your phone. So now the biggest thing is down here at the bottom is going to be like this little navigation. So they're kind of doing with the iPhone 10 has, where it's gesture based. So you have, I think, swiping right switches to a different application. Of course, you have up for home. Now, in Android Pie, I believe there is a setting that you can go to if you want to have the regular navigation bars. You still are able to have those, but if you prefer just the gesture-based button at the bottom, you are going to have that option as well. So, nice to see that there. So, you do get that. Digital webbing.
Well-being.
Well-being. Oh, excuse me. So, if you're into that, there you go. No Do Not Disturb improvements. So, I don't use Do Not Disturb. I feel like I should though, but by the time I get ready to put on Do Not Disturb, I forget to turn it off. So I'm wondering why my phone has all these notifications, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to turn this off. So, but if you do use that, you are gonna get some nice.
It's great to turn on when you're trying to sleep at night, but you have an alarm set on your phone.
That's true. Yeah, that's the only reason why I don't use it, because it turns off everything, and then so I'm waking up and it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, dang it, I forgot to turn off Do Not Disturb.
No, your alarm works once.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, your alarm always works.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought if it turned off everything, you have to make like an exception if you don't do that.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I learned something new about my own. Look, I've been on iOS for a little bit, so I forgot. I'm a little rusty with Android.
Improvements.
Yeah, so you have improvements to existing stuff. So your select all, the way you answer and reply for messages. So I think this is going to be having it where it's all grouped now. Finally, I don't know why this was not a thing at the beginning. Why does all my messages from Messenger or my text messages have to show up individually instead of just in one tab? And I can just swipe it down and see and reply and move on. So thank you for that, finally. So select all, copy and paste are going to be improved as well, so that's going to be nice. And then Google Maps is coming indoor. That means, hey, Google Maps can track what you look like on the inside. So you're going to have a Google rec come and be like, can I scan your house real quick? And you're like, no. And they're like, I'm paying you $500. And you're like, come on in. you want some tea? So preventing accidental screen rotations. So nice feature. Sorry I paused there. I've had a couple of that happen to me.
Yeah.
A few times where I accidentally do this and I do this and then it flips like after I've already put it back in portrait mode. It goes in landscape mode. It's the worst thing in the world.
It's annoying.
Multi-camera support. So big thing. A lot of cameras are now doing the multi-camera support, except for Google. They are on that single lens life. Somehow they go single. They have one lens and it's the best camera out there. But everybody's got two lenses and it somehow doesn't matter. So. All right, inclusive emoji. So hey, if you're into sending eggplants and donuts, then you're gonna have better looking ones. Download apps have been changed to files. Downloads apps has been changed to files, so not bad. Got the ML kit. Improved battery life. This is a big thing. I know a lot of people will be able to take advantage of. Because I think in 7.7 in Android 7 or Nougat, they introduced, what was it, DOS? DOS, I think. Was it called DOS? I know it wasn't. It was something new that they implemented for better battery life. I think it was DOS or DOS. DOS, I want to say. I don't remember. And then runtime enhancements. Of course, the notch support. My gosh, that needs to be a thing that needs to stop.
Nope, notches.
Notch for life. Hashtag notches.
Better
security for your devices, which is going to be good. Improved accuracy, and there's other improvements. And privacy. So there's a lot of stuff that is going to be changing and being added into Android 9.0. If you guys are interested in that, definitely make sure you look at Digital Trends. They did a whole detailed explanation as to what was going on.
Do they have a release date for it yet? Exactly.
Well, I think I don't think they have a release date.
Okay.
I think technically it's gonna start releasing now.
Well, if that was the case, I can just check right now.
I'm getting ready to say, yeah. I mean, you have a Pixel, so you'll know better than I will.
They may be waiting for the Pixel 3 to bring it out too.
I think so. That's what I'm thinking. Is that what they're gonna do is they're gonna announce the Pixel 3, and then once they announce the Pixel 3, then they're gonna go ahead and release the software for it. So, but yeah, I'm liking where they're going with the new Android. I'm actually hearing, what is it, Android Fuchsia. I don't know if you heard of that before.
I've not.
But it's a different platform. But I'm hearing that it's supposed to take over.
Oh, never mind. Android 9 Pie. It just never.
Oh, there it is. He's got it. He's got the update. He's downloading it right now.
I got unlimited data plan. It's okay. It's a gig, almost a gigabyte download.
It's a gig. He's got this. There we go. So there you go. Now we're gonna have Pie. You want Ken to do a review on it? Talk to him. Let him know. Tell him to do a review. Right? Say, come on, man.
How's pie?
Pie is delicious.
I'll just start it with a piece of pie and say it's great and end the stream.
Just eat it. It's good. Did it? That's it. That's the intro and outro. But I like the way the path that Android's going with it. Looks good.
There's your answer though. Released today.
Yeah, it's been released today, so I was absolutely right. Now,
if anyone has a Pixel, go download it now.
Yeah, if you got a Pixel 1 or 2, go get your pie. Go get your slice of pie before everybody else takes it. You don't want to be that one person that sees that pie, and then you leave, and the next thing you know, you turn around, there's only like one slice left, and it's between you and your friend. Mm-hmm. Your friend's already there, and you're like, I don't want him to take my pie. So there you go. I'm glad. I like where Android's been going though with this new look, and they're making improvements on a lot of things that made Android a bit inconsistent. Now, one big thing I will say that definitely probably should improve. If you are a Samsung owner and you've owned a Galaxy Note 8, I know my fiance and then my roommate were having issues where the phone would randomly restart when they upgraded to Android 8.0. So I don't know if that's a bug or if that's something on Samsung's end.
That's just a Samsung phone.
I knew it. See, here it goes. That's why you get a Pixel or an iPhone. You don't get Samsung. You get one or the other.
There's other brands. You don't got to get Samsung.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to get Samsung. There's LG. There's Huawei. There's HTC. Which, if you still have an HTC phone, I hope they get better. That's all I got for you. But if you're stuck between an iPhone or a Samsung, don't get a Samsung. Just get a Pixel. See?
Why not? You get your updates first.
Yeah, you're the first one to get. As you can clearly see, you're the first one to get the updates, and you get a stock experience. Why not? Why not? I'm actually gonna get a Pixel, so there you go.
Wait for the Pixel 3 so you can get your notch.
Oh God, please don't bring up the notch. I already had to deal with that with the iPhone 10. I didn't know.
Well,
it's so weird. It's like it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, it bothers me. I don't want it. Like I want the Vivo. Have you seen the Vivo phone? It's the Vivo Next.
I believe so. I don't remember it quite well.
I think that's like the most amazing looking phone ever because it's literally all bezel. The camera pops up. Mm-hmm. And it has the built-in fingerprint. That's like the future phone right there.
I would have liked the idea, like I thought for phone was to have your phone front-facing camera on, like not showing kind of, and when you go to open your camera, the the LED, so forth, would turn off, and then your camera would be visible then.
Oh.
And then you could take a picture. And then when you're done, of course, it would activate that portion of the screen again. Or
that's pretty dope. I think didn't somebody try to do that?
I don't know.
I know there was like I saw a concept out there where they had it was an all screen, and then the camera was like it was there, but it was under the screen. I didn't see anything more than just that, but I think there might have been like some concept out there that was like that. But that would be pretty dope. Because I know eventually it's going to get to the point where once they figure out how to do that, we're going to get a phone that's just nothing but just bezels. And I mean, if you've seen like the Vivo Next, it kind of does that where the camera, instead of being here, it just pops up. It's its own little unit, and when it's time to use it, that and the Oppo as well, they created a phone like that too, where the camera's up here. So we're getting to that point where we're just not going to have anything on the front. It's just going to be nothing but screen.
That's the way it should be. Except maybe a few notches just thrown in just because.
If you want the notch, Android 10 is going to include it. You have a built-in notch.
10.
You have a built-in notch that does it.
The Android 10 will force a notch onto your screen.
What comes after P, Q, and what food starts with
quiche?
Quiche.
the Android quiche.
Android quiche. I think we just leaked the next name. Uh-oh, you heard it here first. JKT leaked the next name for Android. Android quiche. You're gonna call us and be like, we're gonna need you not to do that.
No, you didn't trademark it yet. We'll sell it to you.
I know, we'll sell it to you for a cool million. Cool million, 100 million.
Even though we didn't trademark it. So
right, exactly. But yeah, get your Android Pie if you got a Pixel device. Other devices, I don't know when you're gonna get it. Hopefully you get it soon, because not a lot of people are on Android 8, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Are they just gonna update you straight to 9, or what are they gonna do? Hey,
this one, it didn't force an update on my Pixel. I had to go search for it just now. So
yeah, true. Okay, well, makes sense. All right, so
it's funny because it said it checked about 3 days ago and there was nothing, so it had to have come out in the past 3 days.
I think. Well, I mean, it literally was like, I probably think it was announced within the next 3 days. So I think yesterday. That's when I found out about it.
Probably when it came out yesterday then.
Yeah, so it probably did day yesterday. So get your Pie if you got a Pixel. They start with a P.
If you don't got a Pixel, just go get a slice of pie and make yourself
feel
better.
Yeah, and then say you got Android Pie, and then you'll be the joke of the town.
It's gotta be key lime pie, so it's green like Android.
Oh, don't do key lime. Do lemon pie. I don't know. I haven't had pie.
Apple pie.
Time. Apple pie is delicious. That's my favorite.
With some ice cream on it.
Ooh.
Vanilla.
Are you making me hungry? I'm about to go to Walmart and get some pie. Gosh, so delicious. Anyway, the next article here. This is gonna be from CNET. This is, oh, my tablet was going off. This is coming from about the rumors of the new iPhone 10, iPhone 9, whatever they want to call it. So,
the X Plus.
Some rumors, some specs, some price and release date. So I believe right now there's 3 different types of iPhones. You're gonna have one that's a 6.5 inch. Let me bring up the picture here. Oh, that's pretty. I don't think that's gonna be the next iPhone, but. And there's a guy holding it. Did they lie to me? Oh, they lied to me. Look at this misleading ad. Get out of here.
There's 20 photos.
Oh god. Oh well. But yeah, so you have the 6.5 inch, the 5.5 inch, 5.8 inch, excuse me, and then the 6.1 inch iPhone 10. I think they're all using OLED except for the 6.1. It's going to be using a LCD screen. Of course, the notch is still going to be there. It's going to be the same size, so it's not going to change. I don't know if they're going to actually make different colors of it, and if it'll have a triple camera. I don't know if they're going to necessarily do that. But they are, of course, making 3 different versions to kind of compete with the prices, since a lot of the iPhone 10 was really expensive. And I think Apple knew that that was a little expensive, because now they're making a phone that is a little bit lower.
No, this was a very successful year for Apple, because of this phone in general too.
Really? Because people were saying that the iPhone 10 didn't do that well.
Well, Apple recently reached being I believe it was a trillion.
Billion-dollar company?
No, trillion dollar company. And I believe that was partial due to their phone, though.
Well, I mean, expensive as those phones were, yeah.
So, I mean, it may not be doing as well now, but that initial launch probably helped out a lot.
Probably. I guess that would make sense. So, but yeah, so we're getting really close to the Apple event in September. Excuse me. So
what's that?
Yeah, this
iPhones could be slower than Android phones, especially with my new Pi update coming through.
Oh yeah, you're about to
step 2 of 2.
Is Apple gonna die and Android becomes the new Apple?
There's a rumor that that cheaper version of the phone will ship later.
Well, yeah, I think the cheaper one is the 6.1 inch one.
And an LCD screen.
And the LCD and the OLEDs are going to be both the 6.8 and the 6. What was it? 6.5. I want to say. Yeah, that's
6.5.
That's massive.
Yeah,
that's actually
that's pretty much an iPad Mini.
Pretty much, yeah. That might be the biggest phone out there because the Note is only 6.3.
Mm-hmm.
And if any of you use like an iPhone 7 Plus or an 8 Plus, those phones for a 5.5 inch device, they are huge. They are massive.
When I get my new phone, it's not going to be. I'm going to get an XL, not a regular one. I missed the bigger screen.
Oh, is that the XL?
This is the regular Pixel.
Oh, see,
I got this because when it first came out, the XL was having screen issues. I remember. So
yeah, I remember that too.
So I just got the original.
Makes sense. But yeah, so we're definitely going to be hearing something about the 2018. We're going to hear about it around September. I don't know if they're talking about maybe the SE. I know that people were talking about the SE too, but I think the SE that's going to be it. Which the SE wasn't bad. It was a nice phone.
Out of the 3 names there, I prefer the X2 because I don't want them to do iPhone 11 because that's just going to be too many numbers. If they do X2, it feels like
they're gonna
rebranding it.
They're going to do like iPhone XI or some weird thing, but you can't say iPhone 11. You got to say iPhone X.
The XI should be what the LCD version is. I feel like that should be a different one. That's my opinion.
I mean, the X2 definitely sounds a lot better because it's a newer phone, so it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to put it as an X2. So so OLED and LCD. So they're trying to go make an iPhone that's a little bit cheaper, so it's a little more cost effective. So that's where they're going with the LCD screen. Of course, rumors to have a 3-camera setup. Person put SEX LOL. That's terrible. You're not ripe for that. And then a bigger iPhone, of course, which would be the 6.5 inch, and then a cheaper iPhone. So there's a lot of rumors going around right now. Of course, we're not going to have anything concrete until the actual event happens. We'll find out if we're going to get any of what it says here. Of course, I have support for the Apple Pencil or iPen. If Apple came out, I mean, it would make sense if they did a pen.
It would.
Especially for the bigger model. Like the small model, maybe not so much. For the bigger model, it would make sense because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a huge phone. So why not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, there's no point not to make it work, honestly.
Maybe
unless Apple wants to sell something with it, so it works.
I mean, because I could honestly see a smaller version of the pencil. Because to me, the pencil normally is the regular pencil is massive.
It could be called the Apple Crayon. Yeah. That would be the smaller version.
Oh my god. The mini.
Or that could be one for children.
Yeah, they're gonna have an iPad Kids edition with the crayon.
Apple Crayon.
You get the crayon for $50. Wait, they have that? I think.
I don't know.
I think they do have like a pen they do. At their education event, they had a pen. It was a pen in a case that were for education, and I think it is called the crayon because it looks like a crayon. So they've already done it. So I've
never seen this before. Then
let me see if I can pull it up here so you can see this because I'm telling you right now.
If you're using Chrome, you can just type in at top. You don't have to type Google.
I know, but it makes it. I feel better. Yeah.
Wait, is that Apple's though? No, it's a Logitech.
No, it's a Logitech one. Logitech crayon. There you go.
So Apple could still technically.
Yeah,
they just can't use the word
right.
Crayon.
Yeah, they can't use the crayon, but this is pretty much they released this at the education event, and then they released a case. I don't know why I wanted the case, but I want the case in this.
Another idea: they make different color versions of their Apple Pencil. The Apple colored pencil.
Oh, or like an Apple marker. I would. Buy
They'd have to make it white. I think that'd be a wider tip one they should do if they do that.
Or what they do is it's universal, so it's both colored pencil.
No, you're not. You're going against the Apple.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking Android.
You're giving it multi-purpose. That goes against Apple's beliefs. They have to sell both.
I forgot. So now you're gonna have it like this: the Apple fountain pen, Apple colored pencil, Apple pen, Apple pencil, which is what they have now, the Apple Mini pen, and then you're gonna have the Apple marker, and then you're gonna have the Apple paint bucket. Yeah.
Don't forget the Apple Whiteout.
Apple Whiteout.
To
Yeah,
remove
there
any
you
of your stuff you do.
So you're gonna have to get this case that has all your utensils in there. That's how it's gonna work. My God, Apple, you know how to make money. You're so smart. That's why you're a $1 trillion company and nobody else is. So, so yeah, we'll find out more information once September comes. But there's a lot of rumors going around about what's going to be on the iPhone 10. Some seem pretty close. Some are not. If you watch any videos on YouTube out there right now, there are actually people who have like dummy models of what potentially is going to be definitely the new iPhones that are coming out. So the 6.5, 5.8, 6.1 inch are definitely going to seem to happen. But of course, we won't really know that until Apple decides to announce it themselves. So hopefully we don't end up getting duped on that. So I don't know. I think after the iPhone 10, if I get another iPhone, it would have to do different colors.
Yeah. They
would have to, because the iPhone 10 to me, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't I don't think it was a really great looking device. I think it was like, and I would have liked to have seen them do maybe a different design with it. Something a little bit cleaner, a little bit more updated. Cause I mean, I'm not a big fan of the 10. Like I really wanted the iPhone 8, but I wanted the red edition because I like customization and colors. And to me, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just it costs more to have a phone that comes in different colors, because to me, I don't know why manufacturers really don't do like different, like if you want to have your phone be like red and black, you have a place to go to customize that, you know?
Yeah.
To me, that makes a little bit more sense, but I don't make phones. I just buy them. So they still got my money either way. So God dang it, Apple.
They just have a surplus of paint they just reuse from other phones.
Right.
So they don't want to buy new ones if they don't need to.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think now any phone I get is more likely going to be Android. I probably may get like one of the older iPhones, but I don't know if I'll get the new one until the design changes.
They're missing something really important with cell phones. RGB lighting. And
there you go. Come on, take from Asus with the gaming phone. If you RGB everything, people buy it because they're just gonna like, oh, that's pretty, and they're gonna be like, I gotta get it because it's RGB. That's what Apple's gonna do.
Forget battery.
They're not gonna call it RGB. They're gonna call it eye lighting, eye lights.
Just don't worry about the battery life anymore. People want RGB.
Yeah, people don't. Look, if I can have my phone change different colors in a wave, but I only get to use it for an hour, that's fine. I'll take my charger with me in my power pack. Yep. But I gotta have the lighting. Otherwise, it doesn't match my setup. My setup lights up. Why can't my phone do the same?
I know exactly.
Why can't Android Pie light up? What if Android Pie had a wallpaper that was RGB and it just waved the colors? That'd be crazy. Oh my God, RGB is getting ridiculous. All right. Before we RGB ourselves, let's go and talk about the next article. So this one is also, where is this coming from? The Guardian, from U.S. Boston. So not Guardians of the Galaxy, but the Guardian. And this is some shocking news. So Huawei, a Chinese phone company, has beat Apple to become the second largest smartphone maker. So does that mean that Samsung is number one?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Samsung. Google needs to get their game together, or Microsoft needs to come out with a new phone. So this is a significant thing because Samsung and Apple have been on top for almost about 8 years. And Huawei has finally broken in. And I believe they're doing it without even selling a lot of smartphones in the US market. So that's actually very, very impressive. So they sold approximately about 351 million smartphones globally, which is awesome.
And that's just in the second quarter.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Samsung had the worst hit out of them all. It was down 10% year. It only sold about 71.9 million, which unfortunately of course it doesn't really surprise me because especially with the announcement of the S9 and S9 Plus, there wasn't anything really massive, really any big change coming from predecessor devices. So if you were doing if you had a Note 8, then it didn't really make sense to go to the S9 because it wasn't that significant of a performance jump or boost. If you had an S8, maybe it made a little bit more sense, but there hasn't really been much in like differences between them. So most of the devices that Samsung has now are kind of becoming together.
Right.
And I think Samsung knows that because they're trying to find ways to really unify the Samsung phone. So I think they're at some point probably going to get rid of the Note lineup because the Note now is not what Note used to stand for back in the day. It doesn't stand for that same thing anymore today.
No.
Because it used to stand for innovation. The Note was the phone you went to when you wanted to have something like that nobody else had, and that it did something that its little brother, the S series, couldn't do. Now the S series and the Note series are pretty much very similar to each other.
The Note has almost just became, I should say, just a bigger screen. That's all it is.
Yeah, a bigger screen with the ability to write.
Yeah.
So, but don't get me wrong. I love the Note. Like I love the Note, and I love the S series devices. They're fantastic phones, but there's no innovation really between the two. If you look at like the S9 and then the Note 8, there's not so much of a difference that says, wow, this S9 is better than the Note is better than the S9. So they've now literally become pretty much the same device, just a bigger screen, and then you have pen included. So now a lot of people are really going to go buy a brand new phone if the phone doesn't do something that doesn't do something enough where its other phone couldn't do. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna go, buy an S9 if my Note can do everything just as fine. So that's the only thing. And so I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised that Samsung didn't do as strong, even though I do like Samsung. But they definitely, if they're gonna try to get back into get their phones into the hands of people, they need to either make the Note the dominant series again, and then make the S kind of that little brother. Or unify it and make it where maybe instead of releasing multiple devices, maybe you have two devices, one small, one large, and the large one has the pen with it still as an option. Because, I mean, I wouldn't say get rid of the pen, but if you have the Samsung Galaxy S9 is a 5.8, the S9 Plus I think is 6.2, and then the Note 8 is 6.3. So if you're looking at the two, it really makes no sense to get one over the other. Like if you have a Note 8, it doesn't make sense to get the S9 Plus. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's got to be something different between them, and I think it just they gotta change it up. They gotta switch it up. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're eventually gonna get rid of the Note name, and they're gonna probably just make it from here on out just one. It's under one name for all their devices. So like maybe like the Samsung whatever. Just because there's not really a distinguishable difference. So. But anyway, back to Huawei. This is actually really significant because, like I said before, Samsung and Apple have been on top for many, many years, and the fact that a company who doesn't really sell a lot of phones, I would say in the U.S. market, but they do it globally, has been able to actually beat Apple, who just did $1 trillion. When you're Apple, how does it feel to just sit there and say we hit $1 trillion, but now we're not second? It must hurt in a way, but then you're like, that's okay, we still got that $1 trillion on us.
Well, they're truly not just from their phone market, though. They also have, of course, their Apple computers, their smart home devices now, because they have the HomePod.
HomePod, yeah.
And they have, of course, like Apple TVs and things like that. So they have a lot more income sources than
what Huawei has. So yeah. So I mean, but it's actually kind of good to see as well. I'm glad to see that the competition that's out there is starting to stir up the market. Because Apple and Samsung are good products, but it is good to see when you can have other manufacturers come in and do really well in that specific market, because it definitely helps. It benefits the consumer more because now you've got more competition. So you've got not just Huawei, you've got Huawei, Oppo. You've got all these companies, and if they're starting to do really well and grow, that means that there's a big shift in the market now, because a lot of budget phones are. Budget phones are now becoming, the big thing. Budget phones are giving you the same performance, almost the same performance as a premium phone, and they give you the really good build quality. I mean, look at like the OnePlus 6, for example. It's a pretty good phone, a really good phone for the price point. So it's like we're starting to kind of see the shift where people not going to just spend $1,000 on a phone if it's only like maybe one or two features that it does differently.
Right.
So it's like, the OnePlus 6 may not be able to do this, or the Oppo, R5 may not be able to do this, but for the price that I'm getting pretty much the same performance that I would get in a Galaxy or in an Apple. Mm-hmm. So it almost is like, are premium phones going to be something that's slowed down as far as, people buying them, or are they going to completely go away? Or are they going to start shifting from trying to sell more so high-end phones to now the high-end phones become the mid-tier budget phones? Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see how the market has kind of changed over. But congratulations to Huawei. I know that they're very proud of themselves for being able to do that, because that's not a lot of people get to actually say that. So congratulations to Huawei. I wish them the best of luck, because over other phones, they have some good looking phones. I would buy every phone if I possibly could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, just own them all.
Yeah, just own every phone,
including home phones.
Oh God!
I think VTech should get into the mobile phone market.
The new VTech, the 2568 MQX, can do everything your other phone can do and more.
Yeah.
You can use it as a cellular phone or a home phone. It's a 2-in-1 device. Yep. There it is.
If you feel like plugging your home phone into a phone line, feel free.
It comes with an adapter that plugs it you can plug it to the phone line cable, and that turns into a home phone now. That's the future.
Now with USB-C technology, my VTech.
USB-C to phone line jack, the RJ75. Hey man, that's the way of the future. People still use home phones. That's the most interesting thing.
That's the most depressing thing, you mean?
Very true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't used the home phone in years. Like my mom, she called when they moved out of here. Mm-hmm. She was telling me, "Yeah, we got a home phone." I'm like, "You have a home phone now?" I'm like, who uses that? And she was like, "People still use home phones." I'm like, "Yeah, that's very sad." Like literally, the only time I see you having a home phone is when I just want all my calls to be directed there, and I don't feel like, and I know it's like spam and stuff. That's the only time I would use a home phone. But then I just get a secondary number or use an old number that I know doesn't work anymore, and just give people that. That's it. It's like, what's your phone number for this?
That's how Jaramus is used to breaking hearts, giving old numbers.
Mm-hmm. When before I got engaged, when I used to go on the dating market. They always say, "Give me your phone number." If I didn't like you, I just gave you the wrong phone number. Yeah. And you always call, and you just heard boop, boop, boop. And you would think my phone line was disconnected because you thought I was doing prepaid. Nope. I just gave you the wrong phone.
That's what it is.
Savage.
It's the life of a heartbreaker.
That's the savagery that I present to you guys. So. Oh, man. Maybe people think I'm mean. I'm not mean. I'm just...
Hey, I don't know what you said. I don't let you...
I'm different. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to go to the next article. So this next article here is, again, back to CNET. Loving me some CNET today. So this is pretty cool. The Moto Z3 has a 5G mod that lets you use 5G inside. Now, you're not going to be able to get this mod now because it's not going to be released until next year, which supposedly that's when 5G is going to actually be happening. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's technically the first official device, sort of, to have the ability to do 5G. But the phone itself can't do 5G. It's only on 4G. It's the mod that allows you to do 5G. So this is pretty much what the mod looks like. And, of course, that's going to be the Moto Z3. So the Moto Z3, pretty much, it has the same body, some bit of updated specs as well. But it does come with that mod. So, like I said, the mod's going to be released in early 2019. So if you guys love Motorola, you got that. So that's kind of interesting. So we're kind of getting closer to 5G now. So I've heard good things about it, and I think a lot of the manufacturers are starting to get prepared. I think Verizon is going to be the first one with it. AT&T may follow, so forth. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it is. But it seems like here Verizon will be the first one. So this is going to also be a exclusive to Verizon, so you're not going to be able to get this for any other carrier. I don't know if it's going to be available unlocked or if just specifically Verizon before. I think it's a Verizon exclusive. So, but pretty much it is going to be very similar to the Z2. It's just going to be a little bit updated specs and design, I want to say. But that's kind of cool.
So I have a question. I've never used the mods, the Motos, the mods. Does it only have a spot for one mod?
Yes.
So if you want to use this phone for 5G consistently, you won't have no more mod support otherwise unless you remove your 5G capability.
Basically, yeah. So At the bottom, yeah, because you have at the bottom the little magnetic strip, and so you can only use like one mod at a time. So if you like jamming your JBL speaker, but you want that 5G, you're gonna have to choose one or the other, basically.
It seems like not a good decision. It seems just like they're just trying to make a few quick bucks for people wanting to do 5G out of.
That is kind of true. Like, to me, because once 5G comes, the phones will just have that either built into it, or it'll just, yeah, I mean, kind of having a mod for that seems a little silly.
Gotta restart now. That's why I've been pulling my phone out every now and again, checking on it.
Oh, you gotta restart that to get that pie, that delicious pie.
Now I know what flavor.
Cherry. Not cherry white?
That's alright. Cherry's not bad.
Cherry is okay. Apple's my favorite, though. I think apple is, especially like with the crumble. That's good.
Does cheesecake count?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, cheesecake.
Yeah. Cheesecake pie?
Yeah.
I've never tried that.
I don't know. I haven't either. That's why I was asking you, does it count?
I mean, it definitely does count. But I would love to try it too. But yeah, I guess that kind of makes it's a little weird. That the phone can't do 5G, but the mod can. So I mean, the mod does have a built-in battery pack, so you kind of can get that too. You can get some extra battery flow. I wonder if 5G is going to take more battery life because it's faster. That'd be one thing I'd like to see.
I'm not quite sure how much. If it does, I don't know how much it would be, honestly.
But probably maybe not a lot.
Yeah.
But apparently 5G is definitely going to be the new thing. You're going to get speeds that are going to be a lot faster than 4G.
Apparently up to 5 gigabits per second.
Yeah. I think right now, what is it, 3 megabits?
Not sure.
I think it's 3 megabits for 4G. That's the fastest you can get.
Well, it's supposed to say, it's saying it can deliver data 10 times faster than other 4G devices. So,
I don't know.
10, what is, I guess you have to do the math if you wanted to.
Do that math for me, guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what that's going to be. That would be interesting. But I don't know. I think with 4G, I think you can only do up to 3 megabits, I want to say. Because that's all the most I've ever been, like, I did a speed test, and that's the most I was able to do with downloads and uploads, was about 3 megabits. So if it does it much faster, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like, what, unless you do a lot of,
look at that new rounded.
Oh, there it is, those rounded corners. Oh, God, it warms my heart to see. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, guys. Android Pie is.
So it's got a.
Oh, look at that. Sorry, he's got his pixel. He's got his pixel on Pi now. So
it's beta test. You're not allowed to see this.
It's exclusive. It's only for Pixel users. So you've got to buy a Pixel. Buy the Pixel, guys. I'm telling you, best phone in the market. But what was I saying? Honestly, if you're not traveling a lot, I almost don't see necessarily having like data. To a degree, because you're in areas that are.
This has changed too. Your menus have all changed and everything. Yeah,
that's nice. I like that. It's a lot cleaner. Look at that. That's beautiful.
The home button has changed a little bit there.
Yeah,
it's still back. It went back to normal afterwards.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I don't. Because nowadays Wi-Fi is almost everywhere, and I feel like it's gonna get to the point where Wi-Fi is gonna be the big thing that everybody's gonna. It's gonna be everywhere. You're gonna be in an alleyway, and you might end up getting your butt kicked, but at least you can watch your Netflix while doing it. So it's a win-win situation. But I don't know, because we'll have to see. We'll have to see how good 5G is, if 5G is worth it, and it also begs the question too, with especially like Verizon and other. Phone carrier manufacturers, how much are you going to charge for that? Because a lot of carriers charge an arm and a leg for just 4G unlimited data. So I can only imagine if 5G is much faster, then you're going to be paying a much higher premium for that. And if I'm around Wi-Fi all the time, I don't necessarily need unlimited data. I don't need a gigabit. But I don't want, I'm in a tough spot. I don't know. I have to see. I'm gonna have to see when it comes out if it's worth my monies to invest in, because I know, especially Verizon is probably gonna bring up the prices of when 5G comes out, they're gonna make you pay for that 5G service because it's like
Definitely.
we're the first ones to have it. We're gonna make you pay for it, and then when everybody has it, it's like, oh, now we can lower our prices. So I don't know how I feel about it, but the Moto Z3 is technically the first phone to be able to do 5G, but not really. It's more so the mod that gives it that ability. So, but the mod doesn't get released till next year. So if you guys are interested, you'll have to wait until next year in order to take advantage of that mod for the Motorola. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic here. I had to make sure I was in the same spot. So now we're going to get to the juicy stuff. So as you guys know, tomorrow is the big day. It's going to be the Unpacked event for the Samsung Galaxy. So of course, before we find out what this Note 9 is going to do, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the rumors. So we're going to go ahead and confirm those rumors one last time and see if this is really going to happen. So Galaxy Note 9 rumors, again, this is another article coming from CNET. So we kind of have a nice little picture of it here. It looks pretty much like they've updated the fingerprint sensor. The S Pen here is a gold with the blue color, which honestly I would have liked to have black, but I'm not judging you if you prefer blue and gold. It's still a nice looking color, looking set.
Yeah.
But you know, black would have been nice. You know, I'm all about that black. But some of the rumors are going to be that the pen is going to be Bluetooth now. I don't necessarily think I like that as much. I kind of prefer the pen being the way it is now, because I think that's another thing you have to now. If I don't know if it's something that'll automatically register, or you have to pair it. But if you have to pair it, that's another thing now you have to pair. Yeah. And I mean, if it comes with the device, I mean, to me, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to now all of a sudden make it Bluetooth. So I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll have to see. Of course, you're going to get the latest specifications. I think there are going to be 2 different models that are going to come out. One's going to have 6 gigs of RAM and I believe a 256 gig storage. And the other one's going to be 8 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs. I believe that's going to be I think the Asus phone is another one. But I think if not the Asus, I think this is going to be the first device with more than 256 gigs.
As far as I think of, yes.
I think so, which is crazy because you can also do an SD card up to 2 terabytes. So it's like, I don't know what you would need that much storage for on a phone for, but you're going to have a lot of games for life. You can download almost every game in the library of the Play Store and be good to go. So I don't know what you would necessarily need that for, you know, to be honest with you. So
I don't think anyone does.
I think we need to find it. We need to talk to somebody who just does everything on their phone. They document everything. Their phone is their computer. But those are the rumors. Again, I don't know. 256 is a lot. 64 gigs is a lot. So 512 gig, you're just asking for infinite storage. I would be more so interested in 8 gigs of RAM. It's funny. Phones that now have almost the same amount of RAM and same amount of storage as a computer. That's crazy if you think about it.
I know.
That is crazy. So 256, you got 256 SSDs, 512 SSDs. It's the same thing. That's crazy.
I think they're trying. It feels like they're trying to bridge the gap every time with it.
I'm pretty sure. Well, they gotta improve that.
Yeah.
They gotta improve on that. So.
Yeah, you know, you can't just let it stagnate, stay where it is.
Right. So, so yeah. The rumor is there is a rumor that the phone would actually be released on August 24th. So pretty much once the Unpacked happens, you'll probably be able to go ahead and pre-order your device. Right now they're banking off of this blue and gold. So this is kind of the Unpacked event. I wish I could go. That'd be pretty cool to see. But like I said, August 9th, so that is tomorrow. I believe they're going to be doing it pretty early. They normally do it pretty early. Or usually they do it around, I want to say 12/1. Is normally the time where they actually start the event. So I'll try to watch it as I can, but I'm at work, so I don't really think I'll be able to see much. But kind of this is supposed to be the new phone. But they did confirm it's going to connect to Bluetooth. There are going to be a couple different colors. I think this is like a gold, pink, rose gold. The gold, the blue, and the coral blue with the yellow, and then of course black. So they got rid of the silver. I don't know why nobody does red, but that's a nitpick. Then of course it's going to cost about $1,000, which was of course assumed. I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, who knows? And biggest one, because you know. If I didn't say this, I was going to have somebody complain about it. But the Note 9 is going to get Fortnite first. So if you have a kid and he sees that, he can be like, Mom, I want the Note because it has Fortnite.
You gotta give him a Note 9.
You gotta give him Note 9 if you want to play it. So you're not only will you get to be able to have access to Fortnite first, but you'll also get between $100 and $150 V-Bucks.
Yeah, it depends. It's a rumor if you pre-order, you get it.
Okay, and also rumor the game will work with Samsung Dex too, so you've got that. I mean, Samsung must have paid a lot of money for that exclusivity.
Well, 1 month.
1 month of it.
Right.
Yeah, it gets it 1 month before. Yeah, so 1 month before everybody else gets it. So
that's a rumor. So
yeah, it's a rumor. So I mean, I know some people have mixed feelings about that. Some people don't like that because it's like, well, this is pretty much forcing you to get a phone that you don't want in order to have access to it. I say that's actually not bad. It's not like Samsung it's not like Samsung to me is not saying, okay, we're gonna have Fortnite for like a couple months before everybody else has it. Then it's like, okay, that's a little ridiculous because now it's like if you want to play the game, you can't. You got to get the Note 9. I mean, they're doing it for a month because, of course, the phone is coming out pretty much tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not as bad. I mean, I'm not saying that they should do it, but it's better than saying we're gonna have it for 6 months and the game's already released. So that's gonna be really weird. Another rumor is the dual cameras with some new warning features. Of course. Thank you, Samsung. See, this is why Samsung's so good.
It's a rumor, though. There's going to be a
notch. You're not going to do that notch. It would, if they put a notch on the Samsung, that would truly be the ugliest thing I've seen. It truly would be. And then some other specs, rumor specs. So we're looking at about either a 6.3 or a 6.4 inch Super AMOLED display, 3850 milliamp hour battery or a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which is good because the Note 8 only has a 3300 and that thing runs through that battery like no other. So glad to see that they're putting a better battery in there. A45 processor, and it's going to be starting off with Android Oreo. 256 gig internal storage or 512 gig. But more than likely they may just stick with the 256 gig. I couldn't imagine them going that much because that's a lot of storage for a phone. 8 gigs of RAM. So I heard there was supposed to be 6 gigs. I guess we'll see. And then faster wireless charging.
But this is all rumors too. It says too.
Yeah. So faster wireless charging for both the S Pen and the See, that's where this is where I feel like now the S Pen is kind of gonna die because it made sense to include it and it automatically worked, but to make it Bluetooth, that just seems like that's another set of problems that's gonna happen. But I don't know. We'll see how that's gonna work. Excuse me, when they do the event tomorrow. We're going to have new wireless charging accessories. And then Samsung's good luck after customize the phone. So, and then, of course, new copper wiring for internal cooling. So, it's going to give you better cooling solution. Hey, look. My Note 7 was fired. Not literally. Yeah. No, not literally. How dare you? I want to speak to your manager. How dare you talk? The Note 7 was still a great device. It didn't blow up on me, so I ain't got
good. One. That's a good thing.
Great. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see how it's going to be. You have any particular thoughts about the
Note 9?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked the Note series more than the S series, but that's just my preferences, mostly because I like the bigger phones. Bluetooth pen seems kind of pointless, but
yeah, it does. I think at that point you might as well just not have the pen.
Yeah. Because
to me, the pen was nice because you didn't have to worry about pairing it. It just works. So when I take it out, it just works. So I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably some sort of Bluetooth technology within there. But if it's something where the pen doesn't work out of the gate and you have to pair it, I can already see that being an issue because you're gonna have starting off disconnectivity issues, the pen not responding, the pen just randomly dying. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with that. Not saying it will, but I just think they should have kept the pen.
I'm just wondering what the purpose of them making it Bluetooth is. I feel like there has to be a reason, but I'm not sure.
The only thing I could think of is that there's some feature that they're gonna have that it can only be done with Bluetooth.
Maybe they're gonna have something that'll let you be able to track your pen if you lose it or something. Like it'll ask known location when it lost connection to your Bluetooth.
Oh, okay. So I think I know one feature, including that. So when you're taking pictures, so the pen can be used the pen to clicker could be used to take pictures and do videos or screenshots. So if you take your pen out and it's Bluetooth and you double like tap, you can take a screenshot and just write. So then that saves you time of having to hit volume. I think it's volume up in your power button or volume down. I forgot which one it is. To do a screenshot, you can just use the pen to do it.
Right.
So I mean that's kind of useful, because if like for me, I take a lot of screenshots of a lot of items, so it would be a little bit easier to do it. But I feel like a counter to that is you would have to take the pen out to do it. So if you're getting ready to take a screenshot, you're gonna take your pen out and then double tap and then put it back in. So that almost still seems like a little bit of a waste. But I think if they're going the Bluetooth route, that's probably what it's going to be used. That the pen is not just a pen; it can be your camera. It can be a wireless remote for your phone for taking pictures, screenshots. There are other things they may do like app customization.
Right.
So you can have the pen to click or double tap to open, which I mean would make good use of that click.
Or maybe you can hotkey what you want to do with it exactly, so you can make it have different features depending on what suits you better.
Yeah, that would make sense. So I mean, there's a couple ways they can go about doing it. It'll be interesting to see how they implement that, because that would be the only thing I can see them really doing, having it used as Bluetooth for that specific reason. Other than that, I couldn't see anything else on there. Right. So I'm excited for the Unpacked event though. I am gonna try to watch it as best I can. I was actually thinking about doing like some kind of like live blog, but since I'm gonna be at work, it's gonna be very difficult for me to do that because my job wouldn't allow me to really do that because I have to interact with people. So they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to watch the event, man. Just let me watch it. So
hey, just get them to watch it with you.
Yeah, just like, look, come watch this with me, and I'll talk to you about this item here. So I'm excited though. I'm looking forward. I really do hope that they do something different with this phone. I almost feel like they kind of have to at this point to really keep it going, because after this, with the fact that I'm pretty sure the S9 didn't do as well as they wanted to do, and the fact that they lost a little bit of market share, it's gonna be like almost, this is gonna either make or break the Note series. And after this, it seems like they're gonna end the Note series here and then just make the phones unified. So I'll be interested to see what it is they're gonna kind of keep, because the Unpacked event for the Samsung S9 Plus was not necessarily the greatest, because there wasn't really anything as far as functionality wise that was like, man, this phone is going to be really, really good. It just seemed like a little bit like a few updates here and there. So it didn't really make it worth the $949 price tag that you were paying for. So, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I'm hoping that, they got a lot of features into this phone. With the fact that it does have a bigger battery, I feel like that's a big thing a lot of people ask for, because the fact that the Note 8 has a really, really small battery for as big of a phone as it is, and as nice of a screen that it has, it really does not get you through much. So the fact that they may be adding a bigger battery might just do it for most people. So we'll have to see there. So I'm looking forward to the Unpacked event. Like I said, if you guys are interested, it will be starting tomorrow. I don't know the specific time. I do know that they normally do it around like 12 or 1. So we'll have to see there. But anyway, on to the last article here. This last article is going to be coming from Gizmodo, and this is for the Google Pixel 3 that has been being rumored right now. And the person here says, this is by Patrick Austin, saying that if this is a legit, the Pixel 3 will be Google's ugliest phone for one reason only, and it's called the notch. So I was originally going to get the Pixel 2, but then Cam was like, wait for the Pixel 3. I don't know if I want the Pixel 3 if it's going to have that ugly notch. So I'm just going to be frank. So there's apparently a guy out there right now that actually has the actual Google device. He plays around, shows you the specifications, what it's using. But basically, the Google has this notch here. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is literally the ugliest notch I have seen. And I don't like notches, but this thing is terrible. This thing just looked like it's like a roller coaster. This is what it looks like. It looks like a roller coaster. I mean, I know Google is trying to, do notch, but you mean to tell me that they could not have found a better way to implement this right here?
They believe in deep V's. They want their phones that.
Well, they definitely did that. So, But of course, we're gonna have the Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL. It's gonna be using USB-C. Of course, not gonna have the headphone jack. Nowadays, that's almost not surprising. I don't think there's really much as far as the specifications they listed on here. It's just more so.
That's just pretty much that. Yeah, it's gonna have a notch apparently.
Yeah, it's gonna have the notch. So. Oh, there. That was the same pictures you were showing me. So. Ben Pixel 3. So yeah, this guy has the Google Pixel in his hand. And he's just kind of showing you some of the hardware specifications for it. What it's gonna come with.
So it's supposed to come with USB-C headphones.
Yeah. So are those the Pixel Buds?
They're not the same ones. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're probably like a different version because I know they have the Bluetooth ones. So yeah, that's gonna be that looks like to be the new Google Pixel 3. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about that notch. I think the Google Pixel phone was a good looking phone without the notch. If they implement that notch and it's that bad, I'm gonna have to send a nasty email to Google about their Pixel stuff because that's terrible. That's not how you do it.
I think you have an issue with these notches, a little too much of an issue.
I might have a little bit of an issue with it. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I meant to type the other one. There you go. So, I don't know. Oh, okay. I thought that had audio. I was getting ready to freak out. I was like, no, please stop doing. Don't do it. But yeah, I don't know how I feel. Don't know how I feel at all about that. See, that it kind of makes me just want to get the Pixel 2 and call it a day. But the only reason why I get the Pixel 3 because of the bigger specs. But I mean, the specs are about the same, just probably with the 845 and then 4 gigs of RAM. Then probably like a 128 gig model, maybe a 256 gig model should be something that they do. But I don't know. We'll have to see on that. So, but that notch is ugly. Like. That makes the iPhone 10's notch look really nice. I'm just saying that notch is that thing literally is just like boom. That you cannot like.
Maybe it's better in person.
I don't think it's better. I don't think it'll be better in person. At that point, just don't have a notch on there. That's my saying, because that seems pretty bad. But I don't know. I'm hoping that the Google Pixel 3 is nice, but I might just get the Google Pixel 2. I'm gonna let it be announced, and then from there, I'm gonna determine whether or not I want to actually get the Pixel 3, or if I'll just do the Pixel 2 like I was intending to do, because I want the XL. I don't want the small one. I want the XL version of it. So,
he wants to make the notch as small as possible.
I do. I really do. That notch is so bad. I don't hate the notch that much, but when you that's like the notch being first released and nobody else was doing it. They're like, what is this? And you're like, this is the notch. And you're like, oh, this is ugly. That to me is what it is. It's like Google has not seen how everybody else has done the notch. They just said, hey, we're going to create this phone that's going to have this really, really bad notch and call it a day. So I don't know. I don't know what their plans are, but any thoughts on the Pixel? You're a Pixel man.
I'll wait to see what an actual not in rumor version. And I'll let you
Are you okay with the notch?
I'll live with the notch.
You can live with the notch, man.
Yeah.
You're a better person than I am.
I mean, it'll have more screen than what this does now.
I mean, yeah, but the notch is so bad. Like, if they, like I said, I don't mind the notch, but it's just so bad.
It's gonna work out, all right.
It hurts. It hurts my eyes. It really hurts my eyes. I don't know, but yeah, that's the rumors for the Pixel 3 specifications. Like I said, looks like it's gonna be a great year. Great end of the year. A lot of good stuff is going to be coming now, being announced. We have the Unpacked event tomorrow. And we've got other future events that are going to be happening as well that we'll probably more likely talk about in future podcasts too. Yeah. But I mean, that's definitely it for as far as like news articles. Those are the kind of things that we wanted to touch bases on. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. You see, he was getting anxious, boy.
I was worried for your sake.
No, not at all. Of course, you thought I was gonna just leave and not. I'm like, ooh, he was like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. No,
I had to drop it right there. I was like, no, we don't go any further.
You're not going to end this. I was like, I'm not ending this yet. So, before we end this podcast here, there's a special product. You guys can't see it, but there's a special product right in front of me that Ken was so nice to go ahead and bring over. So, Ken, would you mind doing the honors and telling us what it is?
Yeah. Did you just want me to lift it up, or did you want to remove it?
Well, let's go ahead and lift it up. Let's go ahead and lift it up.
So this is the Huntsman Elite.
Woo!
From Razer. This came out too long ago. Yep, it has the wrist rest with the Elite version. It also has your media keys here. You got your skip or rewind back, play pause, and then forward, and then you have your mute and your adjustable volume.
Look at that illumination. Look at that illumination.
You have a lot through Razer Synapse. You have a lot of different color options, and you can obviously adjust it. It's not only has the backlit keys, but also has an underglow, and with you just simply snapping the wrist rest.
The wrist rest.
Yes.
There we
Onto
go.
it. I have to get in there, right?
Hold on.
It's a little hard to do it while holding it.
We don't have a top camera, so. Oh.
No, you gotta go below.
Oh, you gotta go below it.
Let me see. Let me get it on it. I'll lift it up.
There you go. There you go. Look
Your underglow will continue through the wrist rest just from connecting.
That is
very comfortable.
So this is just to let you guys know. This is my keyboard next. This is it. They're gonna be. I'm gonna have to talk about a review, but this is my keyboard. Now, I love that underglow. There are two versions. You have the Huntsman, and then you have the Huntsman Elite. Of course, like you said, the Huntsman Elite has the media keys at the top here,
wrist rest,
and the glow in the dark and the RGB lit wrist rest, which is awesome. But it also has new switches as well. So it's Razer's custom purple switches. Mm-hmm. So this is supposed to help give it a faster response time when you're playing games. So when you press down on it, it's supposed to be much quicker. It uses a laser inside instead of a spring, so it's a little bit different from other keyboards. Now I know you were saying before you've already tried it out. So can you tell the difference between that and a spring?
I felt like I could tell the difference. I was coming from a Corsair before, and I mean the Corsair keyboard's nothing wrong with it. It's a great keyboard still. But I definitely felt like I could tell the difference in the response on it. Okay. So it's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things I was curious about, because I noticed it had a much faster response than any other keyboard out there. So, I mean, I was gonna buy it regardless, because I like listen how this sounds, guys. It just sounds like you're doing some real professional work in there. It sounds really nice. I like the way it feels too. It has a nice clickness to it.
It also has an aluminum top casing on it.
Okay. Okay, that's nice.
It's supposed to be, because of their new switches, it's Razer says that it has doubled the lifespan of normal keyboard presses for each key.
Nice.
Of course, you have a bunch of presets you can.
Does this have a USB pass-through?
No, it does not.
Okay. Because I know it has two USB ports you plug it into, so it'll take
one. Yeah, it takes two USB ports. I believe one of them is just the support for the pad here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the rest the more power for it.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah, but this is a really nice keyboard. You probably been hearing me use it a few, but I really like it. It's really nice.
It's pretty pricey. The Huntsman by itself is $150. The Elite is $200.
$200, yeah.
$149.99, $199.99. You really have to
love your keyboard.
Yeah, you really have to put the money to it.
If you really love Razer, or you're a real PC enthusiast, then you're more than likely gonna want this keyboard. Yeah.
And the media keys are definitely optional in a wrist rest. There's nothing wrong with the $149.99 one, but it's nice. They're definitely nice features to have.
Yeah, I was looking at I was looking at the just the Huntsman by itself, and my whole thing was, if it had the wrist pad that could do the underglow, I'd be fine with that. But the Elite is just, to me, it looks a lot better than the Huntsman. Plus, I like the darker color. I like the black instead of the silver.
Oh, I didn't even know the 140. Is it silver?
Yeah, the regular Huntsman is just silver, and then this one is going to be black. So it's two different colors that you have between the two. So. But yeah, this is probably going to be like my next keyboard, because right now I was using a Robcat before. Don't worry, you guys are going to see a review on that one. That keyboard was actually really good for what it was worth. So I like that, but this is probably going to be like my main permanent keyboard. I know I'm still going to buy keyboards, but this is probably this is the one that's going to be used.
This one's going to be used on this personal
all
computer.
The time. Personal rig all the time. I'm going to have custom rig just to test out the other keyboards.
I like this Pi so far.
You like Pi?
Yeah.
See, the Pi is good. Pi is good, guys. We cut a slide. I wish I had a sound effect. Pi. I love some Pi. But yeah, so the Huntsman Elite keyboard, it's awesome, guys. If you guys are definitely interested in it, make sure you guys check it out. It's out now. I would recommend getting the $199 if you can't afford it, but if you can't, the regular one is perfectly fine.
The regular one gets you all of the features you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's going to be, I don't want to say useful, because these media keys on wristpad are definitely useful and they help you out, but I guess if you're looking for more of a gaming aspect of it, the $149 still gives you all the features you want for that. The $50 is just a quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not necessarily like you have to have a wrist pad, but it definitely helps.
Yes.
It makes the experience more comfortable.
Yeah.
Media keys, I mean,
and it's so comfortable, like it helps out with people to have issues like playing games for a long time in their wrists and everything.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That's like one of the big things for me with a lot of keyboards is that I usually opt to get the ones with the wrist rest, because when I'm typing, it's just much more comfortable. I can just rest my palm on the pad. I think out of all the ones I've ever experienced, I think Razer does a really good job with their padding, because their padding is the most comfortable. Because a lot of times you'll see people, they'll have a wrist pad, but it's like a hard plastic.
That's how my Corsair one is. It's a hard plastic. But this is actually like kind of a leatherish cushion feeling.
Leather cushion on there, so it actually it's a little bit more comfortable. And I give props to Razer for that, because they're the only ones that seem to understand that you don't put a plastic wrist pad on a keyboard and say that's comfortable for gameplay. You might as well just not have it. To me, so the fact that they do that is really nice, and I like the fact that that the whole thing underglows.
Especially when I have like my rainbow effect on it to match my case's rainbow effect. The underglow shifts as well with the top.
Oh, guys, that's gorgeous, man. We're gonna have to have like a check out other people's PC moment, so we can look at other people, see what they got going on. Because it was funny too, because there's a guy. He's a Corsair fan, and I was telling him about the Huntsman Elite, and he was like, wow, that's amazing. He was like, honestly, if the Corsair could do something like that, I'd be so. I was like, you know what? If everybody did something like that, I'd be so. It's like, it's funny, when I first started getting into PC gaming, I didn't really like Razer as much. But now I'm slowly starting to shift to their products, because it seems like a lot of the stuff they carry is pretty dang good. Like, they have a Chroma extended mouse pad that it's RGB. And the funny thing about it is that if I want to do a complete RGB setup,
right? So
I'm thinking about getting this keyboard, headset, and then like the mice, because I already have the mouse, and then like the Mamba Elite. So I was like, man, I really shifted from Logitech to Razer like that. And I was like, man.
The nice thing about when you use Razer Synapse, they have the ability to sync all of it together, so your RGB and everything.
Yeah, that's really nice. And then if you have like the hue lights too, you can sync that up, so like certain games can take advantage of that. Which I haven't tried that yet, but I want to see how that works. That's
and then Corsair, we have Corsair fans and everything in our computer, so they have their own software to also make that sync, but that's not integrated with the Synapse software.
Yeah,
but usually it's about the same.
They need to have one software that just does it all, that works for every manufacturer, that can sync all your lights.
They just need one manufacturer that makes everything.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna create it.
Yeah,
you heard it here, guys. JKT is gonna have software that's gonna allow you to do it all. So,
JKT, you want it all? You got it all.
You got it. You want it all? You got it all right here, right now. So, but yeah, this keyboard's really nice. I gotta get one. It hurts my heart to sit here. I'm typing. I'm just like, man, I gotta get it.
And definitely wherever you get one, I mean, I would recommend getting a protection plan on it. Not that they're not durable or built well, but these are $200 keyboards.
I'm gonna say, you better protect that bad boy.
Yeah, you want something on it.
Make sure it's okay, because when it breaks, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go buy $200? That's $400.
You could have almost bought the Threadripper 2 with that.
Exactly. See, if you held another $200 extra, you could go buy Threadripper.
So
invest,
put protection and invest in it.
Invest in what you love. And if you love PCs and you love your tech, invest in it. Put the protection on there, so that way it doesn't break. I mean,
or it does break.
And you just get another. You get another one. I'm not guaranteeing you it won't break, but I'm not what's that guy? Dos Equis. I'm not Dos Equis guy.
Yeah, but this is definitely built well enough, and that I don't foresee it breaking that easy at all.
Nah. This is It's so beautiful. The light, the underglow light, they did it. They did it. They made my perfect keyboard. Now if they can just get the perfect mice or mouse, whatever you want to say it. That would be it. And the perfect mouse pad is already there, the extended one. Gotta get that one. So
they're working on it. I'm sure they gotta get underglow on that that mouse.
Ooh, underglow in it. It just floats. It's just like that'd be pretty cool. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I think that's a good place to go and end the podcast here. We actually make pretty good time. Look at us. And okay.
Ignore Google.
And I hope you don't hear Google talking.
Or playing music.
Okay, Google. Stop.
Stop. You're trying to control my pie.
I didn't even. She's controlling pie. That's the new update. The update.
All right. Before the ghost takes over, maybe we should call it.
Right. We need to go ahead and end it. So thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 3 of the JKT podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We always have fun doing these podcasts. We love talking about tech, and we love sharing tech with you guys here, especially this keyboard. This is a nice keyboard. Get it. Make sure you guys get it. But yeah, if you guys want to talk to us or chat with us outside of the podcast, of course, our proper links are right down here. You can go ahead and check us out there. Like I said, thank you again to TorioBeats for the music provided in the beginning of the podcast and all the other ones. Like I said, if you guys want to check him out, I'll go ahead and put his up one last time so you guys can go ahead and take a look at where he's at. So make sure you guys check him out at soundcloud.com/TorioBeats. Like I said, this man makes some really good music. The music you heard at the beginning of the stream, that was his work. So if you guys want him to make more music, so make sure you go check him out, follow him, give him some like,
give him some support.
Let him know you love him, because we certainly do. But again, that's going to be the end for the episode 3 of the JKT podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys are not subscribed or following the JKT channel on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you definitely are doing that, so that way you know when we go live. We may be streaming on both platforms again for the next podcast. I'm not 100% too sure. It depends. But make sure you guys are following us on both platforms. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. We hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us always know what you guys think about any of the stuff we talk about here. And until next time, guys, of course, my name is J-Knows Tech, and this is my good friend Ken.
Hey.
And we will see you in the next podcast. So have fun, and remember, stay techy.
Have a good one, y'all.